Yes, welcome back. I had to shoo Ronke off the set so that I can have a one-on-one with Theophilus. Because Theophilus was born in Kogi State, but he grew up after secondary school, he stayed back in Kaduna, and he witnessed 7 different crises, all religious-oriented in Kaduna, even worse than the ones that we're hearing was happening in southern Kaduna today. So I have with me Theophilus Omotayo. It's nice to have you on Seriously Speaking.
Thank you. God bless you.
I take that, God bless you. But some of the things, I don't know if we'll be able to recount some of the things you experienced while you were in Kaduna. But I want to start from the point of how did you end up in Kaduna?
All right.
And how did you end up in Lagos?
In Lagos?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's take the story from Kaduna.
Okay. I schooled in Kenji. I had my technical school education in Kenji, and after graduation, I sought for admission into Kaduna Polytechnic. So that migration took place from that point.
As a teenager?
As a teenager, yeah. So moving into Kaduna, I gained admission into Kaduna Polytechnic and started from there. So after graduation from Kaduna Polytechnic, I stayed in Kaduna.
Why didn't you go and find a job somewhere else? Why didn't you go to Kogi? Why didn't you go to Abuja? Why didn't you go to Benin? What made you choose Kaduna?
Well, seriously speaking, many of the people that are from Kogi area are, resident in Kaduna.
So it felt like home?
Yes.
It was
it's
home?
More or less a home, except there is crisis. It's more or less a home for people from Kogi State upward.
So except there's crisis, you are aware of what's happening in southern Kaduna in recent times? It's caused a lot of fury,
I'm fully aware.
Are you surprised that things like this are still happening in Nigeria today, where everybody should feel at home, wherever it is that they are?
I'm not surprised because of the polarization of religion in Nigeria. And so long as it continues, we'll continue to have that kind of crisis.
Polarization?
Yes.
I would like you to explain that.
Okay. What I mean is Nigeria as it is, whenever religion come up as an issue, it divides the people immediately, especially between the major religion, which is Islam and Christianity. And these are the 2 religions that is prevalent also in the Middle Belt, Kaduna South. And so when it comes up, there is a line of divide. And that is what I mean.
So would you say it's still comfortable for people to move over to a side where they are not welcome?
Well, it depends on what. Maybe I would say yes. It is more comfortable if you are not inclined to religion. Religion is an issue in Nigeria. So
that's what's... Okay, tell me about some of the crises that you witnessed. I hear of you hiding in the roof in some time, and people that were your friends ordinarily, once this happens, they forget that they're friends because you have been divided on religious lines.
All right. The first experience I had was in 1985, and that was a Metaseni War in the north. I was new to Kaduna that time, and on my own, I just took a bus somewhere around the northern part of Kaduna City, precisely the airport, because then I wanted to have a feel of what goes on in the airport. So I decided to go there. So on my way back, I saw people running, I saw confusion, so I couldn't understand what was going on. And I just stood in the bus stop waiting for bus to come so that I can be picked up. But suddenly I discovered that I was alone, not knowing that people have actually run away for their lives. And in the process of waiting, a bus, by divine arrangement, I will say, just came. I didn't even say, where are you going? They just pulled me inside the bus. And that was how we took off. And it was when we were about maybe 1,000 meters away from where I was standing, that they told me that, did you know that these people coming that you are looking at, they are gunning for your life. If they have met you there, they will have just killed you there. Then it was the Metaseni people carrying dagger and all sorts moving towards me.
Which one was the most dastardly one you ever experienced?
The one that Sharia crisis.
Oh.
Very, very terrible. The experience was not good to recall. I just got married that time, about 1.5 years into marriage, and it happened. I live in a predominantly Muslim-dominated area that time. I should go on?
Yes, I'm wondering why you chose to live in a Muslim-dominated area.
Oh, well, that is where I find accommodation, and as at that time, it was not, the line of divide was not so sharp. You know, this divide was graduating, and it graduated to a point that the last one that happened, you know, Muslims have to live separately, and, you know, Christians have to live separately. There is a divide of the northern Kaduna and the southern Kaduna. People, Christians live in the southern Kaduna, while Muslims live in northern part of Kaduna. So before it got to that point, you could live anywhere you want. You could stay and have your business and have your office anywhere you want, any part of the city. But this particular one, the Sharia crisis that I was talking about, we live still then in a dominated area, which is supposed not to be a problem. But then that day came, and I went to town, and I couldn't return home. And we were just newly married, like I told you, 1.5 years into marriage, and I couldn't return home.
Why?
Because the whole city was engulfed in crisis, and I was attempting to return home. On my way back home, I picked an Okada, and in the process, I saw the wife of a friend along the way who was helpless. And I also asked her to come up on the same Okada, and we were on our way. Precisely at Agwansiriki, for anybody who knows Kaduna town, we ran into a mob that were already killing people.
So you saw people going down?
The Okada that carried me that day was killed.
The rider?
Yeah, the rider was killed.
Was he a Christian?
I don't know whether the
So at that time, you're just killing people, not because they are Christian? Or...
It's not about whether you are a Christian. You know, of course, if you are a Muslim, you dress well identified. And if you are in between, you may not be identified by your dressing. But for a Christian, we easily be identified. Or you are asked to say something that will make you to be identified, whether you are a Christian or you are a Muslim. So in that scenario, I found myself. And I knew I had God speak to me that day. Run for your dear life. By the time they will pity this lady, nobody will pity you. I responded to that voice without knowing how I responded. All I knew was that I was off the Okada, I was running far away from that point, and the majority of the people that were killing followed me alone. And they pursued to a point that, by God's divine protection, they could not reach me. So, but at a point when I became conscious that I was with my wife's friend. How do I explain to my wife's friend that I saw his wife and I missed her up in crisis? I returned back to that place. I was pursued the second time. I returned back to that place for the third time. I was pursued the third time. So the third time, I felt, well, let me go my way. Since God spoke
Did she survive?
She did survive. When we saw 3 weeks after that crisis, the mark of the knife that was to be used to slaughter her is still there till today.
So she got axed, knifed, but she just didn't die?
No, a security man rescued her.